Today we will be reviewing the Brother LS14S Sewing Machine. I will show you all the features of it and show you how to get started. So we'll go through how to wind the bobbin up, how to thread the needle, and I will share some beginners hacks and tips with you for sewing. So let's get straight into today's video. So just give you a bit of background, I am actually a beginner sewer. I may not be starting from square one, but I'm probably starting from square 1.5. The last time I touched a sewing machine was back in home economics in secondary school. This arrived on Monday and already I've done a good few repairs. I've hemmed curtains, I've made a few of my own home cloths. So I've gotten a lot of use out of this, and I have to say this is very easy to use. So I'm just going to go through some basics. It will come with a foot pedal, so it is a proper sewing machine. This is considered a very small sewing machine. So I actually keep this in my jujube diaper bag. This is a large diaper bag, but the fact that you can keep the sewing machine in a diaper bag is testament to how small it is. So the machine comes with 14 stitches. There's a tension dial here, and you can remove this drawer here so that you can sew cuffs and everything, so you can access the bottom part here when you're sewing. So as well as what you see here, it also comes with 4 spare needles, a couple of different feet. There is a buttonhole foot and a see-through foot, a little screw, and 4 spot buttons. So the LS14S is a 2-thread sewing machine, so I'd say that's the most basic. So you need to have a thread that comes in from the bottom down here, and then you also have a thread on the spool up here. So to start with, you need to wind the bobbin up. Okay, so to wind the bobbin up, I'm just going to lift the spool up here, pop my black thread on. I'm going to have the thread coming out at the top part away from me and thread it onto my spool. Okay, you don't have to thread through the hole if you don't want to. I just prefer to wrap the thread around a few times, slot it onto the short spool. Okay, and again the thread is coming out from the top furthest away from me, so both sides of the thread are coming out in the same direction. Slide that into the right. That locks it into place, so the machine knows that when the spool is locked into place on the right, when you put your foot on the pedal, it will only operate the bobbin winding. It won't operate the sewing part of the machine. So hold on to your thread here, okay? Don't let go. Put your foot on the pedal and help guide the thread onto the bobbin. Okay, and the machine actually stopped itself because it knows that the bobbin is now full. So push it out to the left, take it off, cut the thread. Now the machine actually has a thread cutter here on the side, which is super handy. So, okay. Now I'm going to slot the thread into here. Now follow the directions on your machine and the thread should come out this direction, so the thread is here coming out to the left. Slot that in. There is a tiny little fork that you slot it into and you pull it in here. Now to thread your machine, you keep the thread coming out in this direction, slot it into here on the top, and then you will wrap it around this little circle spool here in this direction. Now it's very good that there are actually quite clear directions on the machine itself. Pull the thread out and then you slot it down here. Move it around under the dial, up and around, and then there is a little arm here that you slot it into. If this little silver lever isn't up to the top, then you turn the dial here. You should only ever turn it towards you, okay, in this direction up towards the top. You just turn that dial to move the little arm here up. Okay, so that needs to loop around there. And then pull a bit more thread out, and then what I like to do is have the thread on my left hand, and then I maneuver down here to catch this little lever down here. And once you've caught that lever in the above the needle, you need to thread it. So I have a hack for you on how to easily thread a needle. So you just wet your finger and then wet the back of the needle like so. Grab your thread like magic, and then you just pull the thread through. Okay, then you just move the thread through that little foot here and pull it to the back. And now you need to catch the thread in the bobbin using the top thread. So you just turn this lever here. And then it should catch that thread. And see, it's pulled it right up. And you can see here. And you just pull that thread. And now I just get both threads and I push it through to the bottom between the feet. Okay, so now you have your bobbin thread pulled through and you have your top spool pulled through. And then you just close the lid. So I'm just going to show you how to stitch something. I have a piece of scrap fabric here and I have an elastic band on my sewing machine just to help me sew straight. So I move it to where I want my seam allowance to be. So the seam allowance is the edge of the fabric and where you're going to sew. So I'm going to move this to a seam allowance of 1/2 inch. There is a product out there called the Purple Thang. But basically it's something similar to this. This is just a baby spoon. It's long and skinny, but it's just something to help guide the fabric when you're sewing very close to the end of the seam, just to make sure you don't catch your fingers. Okay, and I use this a lot. So make sure the foot lever is up. So this is the lever for the foot. Push that up so that the foot is off the bottom. And you also want to make sure your needle is not at the bottom either. So that's what this doll is for. It's just turn it towards you so that the groove at the top is up towards the top of the machine. And then you just put the foot down where you're ready to sew. Okay, I have this on number 6, which is a straight stitch. And to start sewing, alright, what you do is you put your foot on the pedal, let it sew down 3, 4, 5 stitches, and then you put your finger on the reverse lever, so that will sew in the back direction, and then you just let go and let it sew forward again, and that will lock the stitch into place, and that will secure it so that it won't come undone. Okay. And then to lock it in place, again you use the reverse lever. So you need to lock your stitches in place at the start and end of your sewing. And then make sure the needle is all the way up. If it's not, turn it all to the top. It is already at the top for me. Lift your lever foot up, pull it out. And while there is a thread cutter here, I like to use my own scissors because I like to cut very close when I'm done. So I actually have a little hook stuck onto the machine. It's removable, okay, but I just find it handy to keep my scissors here. That way I won't misplace it so that my toddlers will get at it. And in my sewing kit and in my sewing bag, I also keep a scrap bowl. This is actually a dog water bowl which folds away, so it just fits nicely in the bag. But as you can see, that is sewn on beautifully. So tip number 1, okay, so for anything that's very awkward to pin down or to clip down onto your fabric, like I had to sew this badge onto my daughter's jacket, what you can do is you just place it on with a bit of glue like Pritt stick, okay, that will wash out easily. Now I placed the Pritt stick here in the very center, so it's where the needle will not go over. I don't want any residue to go on my needle. There actually is a product that you can buy on Amazon, I'll link it below, But in lieu of that, you can use Pritt stick, okay, and it worked beautifully. It just helped center this down. There's no way I was going to be able to pin this down in the middle of the jacket and with such a thick badge. And within the kit, I keep a little brush, okay. It's just to get rid of all the little thread dust and all, because that can actually eventually get into your machine and cause issues. So if after each use you just give a quick brush to remove all the dust, it would help keep your machine in tip-top shape. And then at the back here I have a bit of magic tape, okay, and at the back of the magic tape I have a strong magnet. So when I'm sewing, as I'm pulling out the pins, I could just quickly throw them back here, and I don't know if it's the cheap pins or whatever, but it just barely catches onto the magnet. So the excess magic tape that ends up here, that can also help catch the pins. Again, it's to make sure that I don't have any loose pins lying around the floor or anything. I have 2 small toddlers in the house, so it's obviously not safe. So as you can see, all the pins tend to stay around here, so it's easy for me to gather up at the very end. So this machine retails in the region of 90 to 100 euros, depends on where you get it from. But I think this is such a great machine. It's so easy to use for a beginner. I've been able to use this from the get-go, and I highly recommend it for anyone. Between the little repairs and hemming curtains, etc. that you do around the house, and the resale value of this afterwards, you'll make your money back in absolutely no time. Love this machine. If you do have any other sewing hacks and tips, please do share with all us other aspiring seamstresses in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. And let me know what you think of this machine, and if there's any of the hacks and tips I've shared with you that you're going to use. So until the next video, stay safe, wash your hands, and goodbye.